All right, let's jump right into a big idea that kind of flips everything you've probably heard on its head. That getting a 10x result is actually easier than getting a 2x one. I know, it sounds totally backward, but stick with me. We're going to break down exactly how this works.
You know the feeling, right? You want to double your income or double your output at work, and the default thinking is always the same. Well, I guess I have to put in double the hours, double the grind. It feels logical, but honestly, it's just a one-way ticket to burnout.
So let's really lean into this crazy idea. What if the path to a massive, tenfold leap isn't about working harder at all? What if it's about working completely differently? What if aiming for a goal that seems almost impossible actually makes things simpler?
And look, this isn't just some feel-good mantra. This comes from the guy who runs Google's Moonshot Factory. His point is absolutely brilliant. Trying to be just a little bit better puts you in a brutal dogfight with everyone else. But aiming for 10x, that forces you to change your perspective so much that you're not even on the same battlefield anymore. You're playing a totally different game.
Okay, so first, let's talk about the problem, the trap that so many of us are stuck in. The source material calls it the exhausting 2x trap.
The 2x mindset is all about addition. You take everything you're currently doing, your habits, your strategies, all of it, and you just pile more on top. More hours, more tasks, more stress. It's a straight line, and since it's just based on what you've done before, you're guaranteed to hit a wall. Sooner or later, you just run out of hours in the day.
This slide just nails the difference. 2x thinking is like trying to make a horse and buggy faster. Sure, you can feed the horse better food, you can make the cart lighter, but you are never, ever going to invent the car. 10x thinking doesn't even bother with the horse. It steps back and asks, wait a minute, is there a fundamentally better way to get around? It's a total transformation. So how do we actually make that leap? How do you go from the horse to the car? Well, it all kicks off with a really fundamental shift in how you see the world. This is the key. You've probably heard of the 80-20 principle. Right now, in your job, in your life, pretty much everywhere, about 20% of what you're doing, the signal, is creating 80% of your good results. And the other 80%? That's just noise. Low-impact stuff that eats up most of your time and energy. And here it is. This is the light bulb moment. The 2x approach keeps all that 80% of noise and just tries to do it faster. It's additive. But the 10x approach is the complete opposite. It's subtractive. It forces you to get ruthless, to identify that 80% of junk and to just eliminate it. That frees you up to pour everything into the 20% that actually matters. Now, this idea of subtracting to find genius, it's not new at all. In fact, let's look at one of the greatest 10x thinkers who ever lived. At just 17 years old, Michelangelo didn't just practice a little bit more. No way. To make a 10x leap in realism, he took a mind-blowing risk. He secretly dissected human bodies, a crime you could literally be executed for, just to understand anatomy from the inside out. That wasn't a 2x improvement. It was a complete reinvention of his skills and who he was. And if you look at his career, you'll see it wasn't a slow and steady climb. It was a series of quantum leaps. The Pietà wasn't just a slightly better Hercules. It was on a completely different planet of quality. And the David? I mean, come on. Each project was a massive 10x jump that completely redefined what was possible.
And there you have it, the entire 10x mindset in his own words. His genius wasn't about what he added, it was about seeing the masterpiece that was already hiding inside the block of marble, and then having the courage to chip away and remove everything that wasn't essential.
Okay, so that's a Renaissance genius. Awesome. But how does this apply to us today, outside of creating world-famous art? Let's look at a modern business example that follows the exact same subtractive playbook.
So this is Linda McKissick. And talk about starting in a deep hole. She was facing $600,000 in debt. Her first year in real estate, she brought in a grand total of $3,000. The classic 2x path for her would have been just to make more calls, work more weekends, and basically grind herself into dust for years.
But she chose the 10x path, and you can see the pattern on this slide. It's just incredible. At each stage, she identified her 80%, all the low-impact work, and she eliminated it by hiring someone else to do it. First, she shed the admin work to focus on clients. Then she shed buyer work to focus on listings. Every single time she subtracted something, she freed herself up to operate on a whole new, much higher level. And the result of all these continuous 10x jumps, just look at that number. $14 billion. That's the annual revenue of the organization she built. And she didn't get there by working thousands of times harder. She got there by repeatedly subtracting the 80% so she could elevate her 20%.
So, this brings the whole idea right back to you. The playbook is pretty clear, but how you apply it, that's deeply personal. So, what's your 10x goal?
Because the point of 10x isn't just about a bigger number on a paycheck. It's really about achieving a higher quality of life. The source material calls this the 4 freedoms. Having the freedom of time to do what you love, the freedom of money so you're not constrained, the freedom of relationships that energize you, and the freedom of purpose that really drives you. This is the why. This is the real prize.
And so we end right here with this one question. It's the same question Michelangelo asked himself in front of that block of marble, and the same one Linda McKissick asked at every single stage of her career. The question isn't, what more can I do? The question is, what must I remove? What are the tasks, the habits, maybe even the mindsets that make up your 80% of noise? Because figuring that out and having the courage to eliminate it, that is the simplest and, yeah, the easiest path to your next 10x leap.